Lawmakers gorge on pork, an ominous spending bill. Negotiations for the spending bill include over 7,500 earmarks. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. There are over 7,500 earmarks totaling $16 billion. So lawmakers are trying to negotiate to be in a year-long ominous spending bill that will expire at the end of the current fiscal year, September 2023. So earmarks are back in full effect in President Joe Biden's administration. They were supposed to be away forever, but they're back in full effect. You may ask, what are earmarks, Tim? Simple. Think of pigs. It is pork, special interest, lobbyists filling their pockets. Earmarks are spending provisions that House and Senate lawmakers have attached to bills that are likely to pass and be signed into law. So the Congressional Research Services has defined earmarks as a benefit. It's a benefit to a specific entity or state locally or congressional district other than through a statutory or administrative formula. It's an attachment to that PDF file or a competitive, award process. So ultimately, they allow lawmakers to put pork in bills that fund special projects in their districts, which could also be used, of course, to reward their donors, of course, and their special interest and fill their pockets, fill those coffers. So a politician might agree to break ranks with his or her party if there is something in it for the folks back home. Or the campaign coffers, fill those campaign coffers up. Lawmakers will put their spin on it, of course, and say, use of earmarks is that they can help to relieve partisan gridlock. Yeah, it's called quid pro quo, baby. So the Senate included roughly 3,123 earmarks, totaling almost $8 billion in its fiscal 2023 appropriations bill released in July. That's according to Bloomberg, government analysts, and these 9 or 10 documents were published by the Senate Appropriations Committee and a beautiful Excel file containing all the earmarks. So there you go. On the House side, lawmakers included roughly 4,386 earmarks, totaling a little over $8 billion. Ooh, there's going to be millionaires created, baby, in 2023. That's according to an analyst earlier this year. Same deal, put an Excel file they looked at with the House earmarks. So combined, the two chambers have published roughly 7,509 earmarks, totaling over $16 billion with a B of money that's going to go out in the front door, and it's going to go out the back door. The earmark funding total is slightly less than 1% of the roughly $1.7 trillion government funding package lawmakers hope to finish this year. $31 trillion in debt. Let's add some more to that debt. Members agreed to apply a 1% generous limit to the new earmarking process when they brought it back ahead of fiscal 2022 after a decade-long ban on the process. It wasn't done under Trump and before that, but they brought that bad boy back. So Bloomberg government explained that the powerful retiring senators, and they're going to make out like bandits coming up, would be some of the biggest winners. So if negotiators can reach a deal on the ominous bill in 2023, this includes some of these senators. I mean, take a look at this chart, these breakdowns, incredible. On both sides, Republicans and Democrats, include Senate Appropriations Chairman Patrick Leahy. He's a Democrat out of Vermont, $213 million in earmarks. Vice Chairman Richard Shelby, a Republican out of Alabama, with $656 million in earmarks. And Senate Armed Services Ranking Member Jim Foyer, he's a Republican out of Oklahoma, with $511 million in earmarks. Unbelievable. So Shelby's hundreds of millions in earmarks puts him with the most earmarked funds for the second year in a row. What is he doing? According to analysts from the Bloomberg government. So, he's got, if you break down him, $200 million for the Alabama State Port Authority, $100 million for Department of Transportation work on some bridge over the Black Warrior River and $76 million for the University of Alabama at Birmingham School of Medicine. Ooh. how much of that is going to go to the Birmingham School of Medicine? So notably, it is possible lawmakers cannot strike a deal on an omnibus package and continue to push the deal to next year after the retiring lawmakers exit Congress. If that happens in that case, it is possible their projects will be taken out during negotiation in the next Congress. They don't want that to happen. So, putting a bow on this, my final thought, none of these earmarks have anything to do with carrying out the proper limited roles of the federal government when you look at the Constitution. This is just further proof that special interest spending on local projects is in no way a valid tool for promoting Congress' important Article 1 power of the purse. Okay? Instead, this, it's just costly spending bill loaded up with pork projects, and they do this all the time. We still got potholes in the roads everywhere, ladies and gentlemen. Congress should reinstate the earmark ban and focus on using its spending power appropriately to fund the constitutional needs of the whole country while cutting wasteful and unnecessary spending and allowing Americans to keep more of what they earn, in my opinion. But no, we don't want to do that. God forbid we don't want to do that. Both parties have been guilty of this. It's just getting way out of hand now, and it's so brazen now that $8 billion and these projects, half these projects never get completed because they just take all the money. And we do have a country falling apart. We have $31 trillion in debt. I know I keep harping on this, and you just can't keep kicking the can down the road. And I did a talk on this. And we're just going to keep adding to that and just keep spending. It's crazy. Did you know that 30%, less than 30% of the money that went to Ukraine actually went for weapons to Ukraine? That's a fact. It's on record if you know where to look. And, you think, like I said, you think they're going to give like $60 billion, $100 billion to Ukraine without fees involved? We give a certain amount, and then fees are involved, and there's kickbacks and all that. We're not going to give money to a foreign country. None of it, unless we're getting a piece of the pie. But less than 30% of that money goes to weapons to help Ukraine. Okay, so there's always fees attached, but this earmarks, like I said, it went away and it was a good thing, and now it's back in full effect in 2022 under the Biden administration, and it takes money out of tax-paying citizens' pockets to bring money in the front door and out the back. Just want to make you aware of this coming up in 2023. They're working on this bad boy on Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. Getting ready to make millions. Take care.